and welcome to Ellie Marine Arts. Today I'm going to be working on some altered envelopes. This is for Junk Journal July, so I'm trying to use up some scraps that I have around the place. Because I've just recently made another journal, I have a lot more scraps. I thought I got rid of a heap of them the other day when I made some, what are they called? What is it that I made the other day? I can't even remember. Little clusters. I made a heap of little clusters, and I made some flowers and out of all of my scraps. But now I have a ton of scraps again. So here we are, back at looking at something else. So I had a heap of these envelopes. These were just like junk mail envelopes and ones that bills come in. So today I'm looking at just doing some collage on them, just with some bits of scrap paper. I've got a box of scrap paper here. Got a box of cuts of cardstock and things like that. These are just a few that I've done this morning. This was a bit of old map, and I'm going to actually sew on these, and I'll turn my camera around a little bit later on when we get to it. So I've just finished collaging this one. I need to put another little strip across here. I don't mind if it covers the window a little bit, and I'm thinking that this piece looks like it might fit the bill for what I want. And it just breaks up having a lot of that one colour on the front as well. So this is my all-purpose art glue from Couture Creations. It's my favourite glue to use. So I'm just going to put some of that on, and I'm going to put that there. And then I've just got to make a new flap for this envelope. Actually, I don't know. I might leave this one without a flap. Might just sew it up, and I might make it so that you can put this into your journal, and I might put a tag or something in and out of here, almost like a pocket. I think I'll leave that one over there. The others, as you can see, I've actually added a flap, so when this goes up, this will come over. And like I said, I'm going to actually stitch around all of these, so that's what we'll do a bit later on today. So I'll continue collaging for the time being. I've got all of these ones yet to do. I'll put that one. Just a couple of things that I've noticed whilst I've been doing this morning. When we've got this fold over piece, I've been finding that it's much easier if I put a piece of whatever I'm going to put on here and make sure it comes up to this window from the back side. So when it folds, it's not going to, so if I was to put this here, then we're going to get a gap where nothing is sitting. If I only put a small amount over there, then when I fold this in half, it's going to lift up a little bit, I've noticed. So I'm actually going to bring this right up to the edge of that window. And I'm just going to glue this piece on. I have found that this glue does not warp the paper, and I'm not sure whether that's simply because it's simply because I don't use an awful lot of the glue. Wrong way. We want to get this way, don't we? So let's bring that up to that edge. Not quite. Bring it all the way up to that edge. That's better. And like I said, I don't mind if it goes a little bit in the window. And so now when I fold this, it will fold much better and it won't come apart. So I'm just going to keep working with this. I might use some of this purple on here. Bring that over there a little bit. So this is just some coloured paper that I must have cut some pieces out of it and just in one of my many scrap boxes. So I've just noticed apparently I've got a few of them around my art room today. So scrimping, create with Scrimping Mummy. Amanda Charlesworth is her name. She has a Facebook group, and she also has a channel of her own here. She has a Junk Journal July. Where did I put that? I don't know where I put it at this stage. So she's got a thing for Junk Journal July. She has a list over on her, I think if you go to her Facebook page, she'll have a thing up there for it, and you can get it from her Ko-fi shop. I will try and remember to link it, but just depends on how busy I get today as to whether I can find it. I'm just trying to find it. I know I had it here yesterday. I've got so much stuff on my desk at the moment, I can't find anything. So I also have a new video out on my channel as of last night. I created a vintage scrapbook, which turned out really nice. Actually, I was really quite impressed with how it looks. Okay, I cannot find that bit of paper to save my life today. It's over here. That's not it. Anyway, she has a list of prompts, and you can choose which ones you want to do. You don't have to do all of them. But yeah, I just thought it was a really nice thing to do for a change. So I'm going to try and post a video most days. I can't say every day because I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to manage that. With it being school holidays here in Queensland, where I'm from in Australia, I have been very busy this past week with grandchildren up from Sydney and my other grandchildren who live here in Queensland, and it's just been a really much needed family affair over this school holidays, and I'm really enjoyed it. So yeah, so that's what's been going on here. So yesterday, because everybody had gone back to Sydney yesterday that needed to go back, and so yesterday I was able to get a video done on the vintage scrapbook. So that was a bit of fun. So this is an old digital that I got from Louisa Heinzel. She ran I think it was a challenge, and you had 5 items, and you had to and it was all done on a digital, and you had to create something out of it. So I actually did that challenge. It was a lot of fun, actually, and that was one of the pieces that you got in it to use, and I really liked it. So I had a few extra ones there, and I threw it into my collage boxes. Okay, put this one on here. So this was just a bit of paper that I'd done some acrylic painting on. Didn't really like the way it turned out, so it ended up in my collage box. I hope I'm in shot, actually. So just in case anybody's interested, this glue that I'm using is actually all-purpose art glue. It's from Couture Creations, and it's one of my go-to glues. I was using a bit of a glue stick earlier, but whilst the glue stick that I use, I've never had any problems with it. I'm just a little concerned that because these are going to be interactive, things might get a little lost in there. Just going to pull that little piece off there. And this paper, this was gifted to me by a young lady. I don't know what it is. It's almost like it's got this crinkled effect. It still has like that linen pattern on the paper as well, through all the crinkles. And one side's white and one side's this lovely multicoloured purple, and it's quite textured. It's a really nice bit of paper. I've got a little bit of it, but not a lot. And I just thought I must have used it in something a little while back. And these were just some of the off-cut bits that I had from another. I've still got another piece, I think, another 12 by 12 piece, which is really nice. But I really like the feel of it. It's really lovely and textured. And I'm just using an old RSL Clubhouse card to make sure smush down my collage papers, make sure they're sitting nice and flat. And there's no real rhyme or reason as to what I'm doing. I'm just going with the flow today. Make sure I get enough to come up over there, so it needs to come to about there. Okay. I'll bring that one up this way a bit. That piece fit in there. No, not quite wide enough. We'll have to cut the edge later. So we'll get a couple of these going. Hopefully you'll craft along with me, which would be nice. I'm thinking about actually starting to do a live, possibly a live mass make perhaps, or just a live maybe once a week to see how that, it's not very straight. There's my ruler. A little bit hanging out the side there. It's going to bug me until I get rid of it. Still didn't come off. Okay, let's try that now. There we go. That is better. I'll do this one and I'll put the flap on the back of this one, just so you've seen how I did that. It was just very easy. It wasn't anything too fancy. I have to put a bit of ink on this corner. Some of these pieces I've inked around the edges, some of it I haven't. It just depends. And I'm thinking that I might like to add a little bit of lace to my envelopes as well. Maybe when I put on the ones that I put the flaps on. Need a little bit of glue under there. Let's get that. This edge here I'll need a little bit because I didn't put any down because it's come across this piece a little bit. Just a little bit of extra glue underneath there. And just smush that down. Just going to trim this piece off here. Yep, that piece can go across there. It's nearly like it was made for it there. So what's everybody else been up to? Leave me a comment telling me what you've all been doing. Okay. A little bit in there. Looks like it'll fit. So I'm not worried if I go above the edge there. I'll just trim any of that off when we finish doing this. Once we finish doing the collage, or trim it off as you go if you like. It's up to you. What else have I got under here? Might be a little bit interesting though. This is just part of an old calendar that I had. That's cool. So the reason that I've put this all-purpose art glue into this little container was because it was in a fairly big bottle, and I was finding that my hands were not coping very well with the pressure that I was having to use to get it out. So I had some of these from when I used to do, well, I still do it when I used to do alcohol ink painting. And I thought I might grab one and try it, and it's been very, very handy. I have really enjoyed having it in that little container, but I'm not going to worry about that little bit. So now I'm just going to find a piece that we can use to put the flap on the top of our envelope. I think I want something that's a little bit cardstock-like. That's got a little bit more put it over here. Maybe a piece of this would work. Yep, I'm happy with that. Might just cut that piece off. So I just want the piece to be approximately the same length as my envelope. I like to give myself just a little bit extra length, just in case my cutting is not too great, because now I've lost my craft knife because I was moving too many things around. Now let me move some of this stuff so I can see if I can find it. There it is. So I like to have a little bit of extra to play with, just in case my cutting's not too straight. So this is essentially just a bit of cardstock, and that's not very straight. That is better. So I'm just going to put a fold in this. Don't need too big a one. I just want to make it big enough so that fold up, please. So I'll mess that up a bit, but that'll be okay. You won't even notice it once it's all glued down. So now I've got a bone folder here. There it is. I might just swoosh that down a little bit further with my bone folder. Make sure that fold is really well defined. And I'm going to add this to the back of my envelope. I'll just sort of centre it onto there. If there's a little bit overhanging, that's okay. We can change that later on. Might just tidy up this edge. I can see a little bit of collage work that we've done, and that wasn't very straight. Okay, it's a bit straighter now. Okay. add our glue to this flap, just that little piece that I turned up before. Add it this way. And I'm just going to line that up on there a bit. And I just want to pull it back just a little bit. I don't want it sitting right up on that groove that fold that we made. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I might need to trim this edge down a little bit so that fits underneath that fold a bit better. So it doesn't need a lot off, but it just needs that little bit off there so that it doesn't buckle when I put it under there. Okay. So this is our little envelope that we're going to make. I'm going to actually sew them. I'm going to sew all around the edge, and then I'm going to sew these sides up. And then we'll decorate the fronts of these. I might need to put a little bit more glue on that textured paper, perhaps. You know, now I've smushed it down, it's doing all right. So just make sure you've got these this hinged piece on for your flap really well at the back. Okay, so now we've done that, let's have a look at these other ones that I've already pre-done. And let's start looking at making some tags to go into them. These are just some more that I'll work on a bit later on. So I'm just going to go grab a few bits and pieces. We need some card. Got a few pieces of card here at the moment. Got some dyed papers to put on the back. These might be better card. I might leave that one and use this one. These ones. See what other bits we've got in here. Okay, so I'm just trying to use up all of my scraps is basically what this is about. So let's have a look at this envelope. Let's see what size tag we're going to need to put in there. That one's a bit too wide. That one's probably the warp. Okay, let me just measure this and I'll see what size tags we've got to have. So that's a little over 3 and 2 1/8. I'm going to say in width. So if I make my tags at 3 inches, maybe 2.5 inches by, it says 6 inches to the top, but then we're going to have the sewing on. So if we do, what did I say, 2.5 inches, let me get a pen and write this down so I don't forget. So 2.5 inches by 5 inches. Okay, so let's bring up my trimmer. Let's cut a few of these out. So we want 2.5 by 5. Oh, we got. This one needs to be 2.5 in width. Yep, that's about right. And we want them by 5 inches. Now the reason I'm putting it as 5 inches is because I want to be able to add some tabs on there. I'm going to put some little charms on them. So what did we say? 2.5. 2.5. 5. And I suppose these are going to probably all be a little bit different depending on the card itself. So I'll just make 2 to go into this, that in particular envelope we were working on, this one. So here's my cardstock. What are we going to decorate it with? What do we want to put on here today? Now I know I've got some here. I wonder whether that will be big enough. Actually, might do one of them with this old painting that I've got that I've used as now you could use tape to adhere this if you wanted to, but I'm just using a bit of an old painting. And I was playing around with some acrylics one day with a bit of metallic in it, and okay, that's pretty good. Let's take that edge off there. Take that edge off. That wasn't very good, that one. There we go. Now, that's it. So there's the base of one of our tags. Let's do another one like that. Okay, that'll work. I don't want those bits. I think I'll use that side. So what I might do is I might grab some digitals that I've got and see what we've got in those to help decorate this piece. Push that down really well. Just trim off these edges. Let's get on there. That's it. Okay, so now I need to find my, here it is. So this tag isn't dreadfully large, so we might use the smaller one. So I'm just going to use this card and chop off my corners. It's just a template that I made out of an old store card. Okay. The same on this one. Flip it over and do this corner. I'm going to double check this one actually. I don't know whether I have it too far over. I thought it was a little bit off. Okay. Now I'm going to put a hole in these. I'm just going to eyeball the centre roughly. Yeah, that's in the bottom one. So in this container here, I have some tabs that I have previously cut. This one might be better, it's a bit smaller. Okay, let's see, another one of those. Yep. They don't have to be in the same spot, so that's all right. That one away. Definitely be putting a tab of some sort onto the sides of these so that they can be pulled in and out of our pocket. Yep, that will work fine. Okay, what else do I want on here? Do I want a bit of this? So I'm essentially trying to use up what I've got in my stash, and I'm trying to use all of my junk journal-y stuff because it is Junk Journal July. And see how we go with that. I might have left the lid off this a little long, so let's put a pin in here to free that all up. Okay. Let's put the top on that. I don't know what's going on with my glue here at the minute, but anyway, I'm just going to have a look. Okay, let's have a look. It's the first time it's actually clogged up on me today. I did leave the lid off for a little long, just a bit earlier today. Well, that's probably what's caused that to sort of gum up a little bit. Let's put one of them on there. I'll do this one as well. Use our ink just to scruff it up a little bit. So this is walnut stain that I'm using at the moment from Tim Holtz. Okay. And because our bases are so dark, it's nice to have those lighter colours coming through to the top. Okay. So these were just a bit out of a diary that I had. Do I want to put some colour on these? What I might do is I might glue these down to this nice greeny colour bit of paper that I've made. This was using some Brusho, if I remember correctly. Just on some normal cartridge paper for your printer paper. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that one down onto there. Do the same with this one. This will add a little bit of a pop of bright colour. Okay, where's this card? Just want to smush them down onto there really well. I'm just going to pop these aside for a few minutes and let them dry. And I'm thinking, because we're going to use this green, I might want a little bit of that green also in our base piece. Maybe come across there like that. Yep. Do I want it up near the top? Like that there, I think. Yep. And I am essentially today just using stuff that a lot of people just throw in the bin. So I thought that was being junk journal. I presume that's what it's all about. I did create a journal cover the other day, and I do have a video for it, but I haven't put it up yet. I just haven't had time to sit there and edit it in between my other commitments at this stage. Put them there. Is it sitting here? It was sitting here before. Oh, there it is. So this is the cover that I made. I haven't got any papers or anything in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do, I'm not sure what kind of binding they call it, but I'm just going to use some like bits of reasonably thick elastic through the centre and have it hooked over, and then I'm just going to slip my pages underneath. Because this is a junk journal, I want to be able to work on the pages. So I thought by being able to take them out and work on them would work much better for me. All that look in my little window. I have to cut that down a bit. It's not what I'm after. Let's have a look over here. I'll grab some stuff. So I've got a couple of baskets here. Okay, I can see what we've got. So this was made with a cereal box. I might put a loop in that, and that might look nice hanging on there. It's too big, that one. Oh, I like that. Now these are a mixture of just things that I've had left over from other projects. This was, I think this was Shabby Dabba Dooda's, some words, phrases that she has. And last week I actually sat here and I made a heap of these clusters just to use up some of my scrap because I had so much of it. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this on here. I actually really like that. That's one tag done. I might just put something. I want that. It's too much. I want to still be able to see that bit of green that I've got underneath there. And this add another piece of that green, which I've used here. That's actually quite nice. think I like that one. Okay, I'll glue this one on. And essentially all of these were just leftover bits of cardstock, some textured papers, book page, different shapes, some die cuts that I had cut out. And I've been experimenting with this crystal accents, 3D crystal accents. And that's what's on this flower here, which makes it a little bit shiny. And it's the same as what's on this bird. I wasn't very good at it, being the first go that I've sort of had of it. Do I want a word on there? I know I want to put these on, so let's cut these in half. I'm going to cut these, press these in half that way. This is still a little damp. So what's it like in your part of the world? Here in Queensland today, this is our first sunny day this week. This Monday, Tuesday, it was overcast and raining here, a bit dreary. But essentially it is winter. I think this year's been the first year in quite a few that we've actually had a winter. We had early frosts in autumn this year. When we head into spring, we get all of our wind. And it's a bit windy out there today even. Okay, there's one. That wasn't cut very well, but anyway, that'll do. I'll just ink up around those edges. Okay. A little bit of glue on this. A little glue on this side. Oops. Okay. Fit in there nicely, yep. Fit in there nicely, yep. Okay, so cut out this one. Okay, fold this in half. I'll pop this one down a little lower. Just that little piece there. Okay. And ground the edges. So if you decide to join in and go over to Create with Scrimping Mummy, she has put a video up saying how you, on her YouTube site, saying how you can get hold of the digital, and I'm pretty aware that you do need to go over to the Ko-fi site. I think she's got it on there and it's free to download, and it has all the prompts on it that we're going to be using for those of us who are going to have a go. So if you put hashtag Scrimping Mummy, she should be able to see it on any platforms, like social media platforms that you're going to be using. Okay, I'm quite happy with those. Not going to use that one. Now I've just got to find something to put on the top. What have we got here? I think this is going to be too thick here. With that one. Where did I do this ribbon? Oh, no, we've got green. Let's have a look. That's also going to be a bit thick. I know we've got other ribbons and things here. I've just got to find them. Okay, let's have it. This one might work. This is a very, very, very pretty piece of white crocheted lace. Oh, I've got my tiny attachment. Nope. Yep, there it is. I don't use staplers very often, but I think in this instant I'm going to just staple that onto there. Around there a bit for me. Okay, there's the first one done. Another little piece to go in here. It's very pretty lace, this one. That one in there. Okay, so now I'm going to turn you around. And we're just going to go over to, I'm going to turn it this way, hey. I'm just going to go over to my sewing machine. I'm just going to run some thread. What colour have I got in here today? I've actually got black thread today. And I think it's got blue underneath it. Blue thread underneath there. I'm going to turn this on. I'm just going to sew across. What have we got? Yep, zigzag will work fine. Pick that up. See that. Nope, there goes my thread. Don't know what happened there. Looks like it's a bit tangled up. Okay, around there. There. What's going on? Okay. Let's see how we go. Through there. Twisted. Let's twist it around my. I have to pull that out again. I don't know how I managed that, but I managed to get it twisted. Let's bring that this side. Okay, not twisted now. There we go. Now we'll get back to this one. this around this way. That around. So I've just essentially sewn around it, but I also want to go around this window. But I'm going to change that to a straight stitch. Right there. That's our window. Hello? Hold on a moment. Okay, sorry about that. My cleaner has just arrived. And after having the family here last week, yeah, my house needs a little going over this week. Okay, so I'm just essentially cutting off all the threads. I don't really want them on here. I know some people like them. And I do on certain things, but not on these envelopes. So I'm just going to move you back down here. Actually, no, I'm going to move you back over here. Because we just now need to seal the sides of our envelope. One side done. Just cut off those little threads that we've got. Try not to cut your envelope at the same time like I nearly did then. Okay, so we'll move back over here. Excuse me. Drop you back down here. Hope I'm in frame again. If I had thought about this properly, I probably would have put a notch in here before I sewed. So because I've sewed already, I'm not going to. So these are now just being made into some pretty little envelopes. So the other thing I don't want ephemera on the outside that's going to be too bulky. Sort of want stuff that's a little bit on the flat side. I've got some smaller ones of those. Where are they? Even that would be nice. Do I want it coming up that way? Do I want it on the fold? No, I think I want it up here. So I'm just going to grab this moth butterfly Need to have a look for my other ones. I want some that are a little bit brighter than this, I think. This one might be better. Yeah, that's nicer. I think it needed something that had a little bit of brightness and colour into it. I'm not sure, I can't tell you who I got this digital from at this stage. I will try and link it in the video later on if I can find it. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm not going to seal it all the way down because I want it to have that little bit of dimension, but I also want it to be able to lay flat and sit up as well, depending on what you want in yours. And okay, that'll fit in that window nicely. Rid of that one, and I'll only put one of these in because these ones are a little bit bulkier. I'll only put one in each envelope. I reckon these would be great for Happy Mail, you know, just sending a nice little tag and an envelope off to somebody. How cute is that? So I'm thinking I'm going to punch a hole in here in this little tab I've got here, just to have that little bit of extra bling. You'll be able to still hear me, but you won't be able to see me. I'm just going to go put a, what do they call them? Oh, what are they called? One of those little metal things in it. I can't even think of the name at the moment. I've lost all my words. Okay. And I think a nice black one would be nice. That's got to go down that way. It's got to go that way. No, it's got to go the other way. Okay. One on there. This one as well. That goes there, that goes there. Don't mind me, I do talk to myself quite a bit. Sometimes I just need a bit of professional advice. Okay. Now I've put both of these, what are they called? I can't think at the top of my head at the moment. Put both of these in and I'm going to have a look. I've got a container that has some little charms that I made a while back, and I just want the real small ones that I've got. It's probably, oh, here we go. So I've got these little dangles that I created. I've got a video with where I made chipboard and I made these little dangly things. I'll try and link it later on when I put this on. It's not facing the right way. Okay, so I'll take that off, put that through, put that on. There we go. So now we've got a little dangle on our please stay. Now we've got our little dangle. Pop this into our little envelope. And this whole project was basically made from scraps. How cute is that? I think that's really sweet. I can't get that to sit properly. I might have to put a bit of chain or something on it and an O-ring. Okay, just leave that there like that. So this is the project that I'm doing for Junk Journal July today. I will hashtag Junk Journal July and Create with Scrimping Mummy over on YouTube and also at Facebook. I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.